Hey everyone, this is Dion von Moltke here. I'm going to walk you through a couple laps around Virginia International Raceway in our Flying Lizard Motorsports Porsche, and then also show you an onboard look at what it looks like to get ready for a driver change. So, practice here, I'm going down into turn 1, you see an LMP car going out of pit lane, and I'm going to just cast him. This is so frustrating here as a driver. Bit of etiquette, I would expect him to just slow down a little bit, because he's not on the lap. I'm in practice, I'm starting the lap. That's a bit frustrating for us as a driver, what he does there, but that's part of practice, it's part of what we're working together. So that's through turn 3 here, all in third gear, going into turn 4, down to second gear, trying to get down to that apex. Really, this is going to be a long straightaway here. We're flat all the way up through the S's, so really important to get a good shot out of 5A, over the curb, using all the rotor there on exit. Really busy section up to 4th gear there. Going to go up to 5th gear, getting ready for the famous S. Is going to be flat out 6th gear, 150 miles per hour. Get down there now, turn it back. You're going to get all 4 wheels to jump in the air at 150 miles per hour. Precision is vital to here. Turn 10, blind entry down to 4th gear, trying to get the flat there, using all the road there on exit. Now into the famous Oak Tree corner. Fortunately, the Oak Tree is not there anymore. And it's really amazing as a driver. You see there, it's openness now where the tree used to be. It's a weird sensation to get used to. You don't realize how much you use the tree to help visualize where the apex is and actually judge your speed going into the corner. So big transition for us all as drivers throughout the weekend to adapt to the new corner. Now, big brake zone here into turn 14, all the way down to the 1 board, going all the way down from 6th to 2nd gear. Car gets light as you crest the hill there. Now trying to keep close to the apex. It drifted a little too far wide there. It makes 15 a little bit more tricky. You're trying to take it flat out. Now into 17, down to gear, over the curb, letting it be free over the next curb. Trying to get the flat full throttle here onto the front straightaway. Really important to get a really good exit out of 17A for a good lap around VIR. This is now a new tire run I'm trying to do in practice, so I'm really trying to feel the car. Going into turn 1, trying to go deep on the brakes. You're going to try to go down to the 5 board here, going down from 6th to 2nd. Again, not many big brake zones here, only 2 throughout the lap, but into turn 1 is 1. Really low grip, especially leaving turn 1 is really hard to lose the rear end there. Now into turn 3, going as deep as possible, really trying to bring it back to that apex. Missed the curve a little bit, using all the road and then some there. Going down into turn 4. This time I missed the apex a little bit too much entry speed. That's going to cost me this lap. Now trying to use all the road there, gets a little bit loose mid-corner, really busy, launch the hands up to 4th gear. You see our car is working pretty well. There's no big moments, no big catches. Take a breath, because you have to hold it again, going into the S's again, just into 6th gear. This time, use a little bit more curve, really float the car. It gets a little bit loose there. See, I missed the 2nd apex curve, and it really cost me going up, and it's a tricky corner to really cost you. You don't want to make a mistake through there. Back up into Oak Tree, down to 3rd gear, really bringing as much speed in, down to 2nd gear. Try to clip the curb, full throttle, using all the road there on exit. And now you have time to breathe, look in your mirrors, try to get some traffic by you. You know, around this track, there's only really one line. You can run all the way through it. So traffic is really complicated on there. I'm sure most of you saw in the American Le Mans Series race, it got a little dicey in traffic. That was unfortunate, but it's one of the kind of qualities of the Virginia International Raceway track that makes it so challenging. Down, nice apex this time. Down into turn 15, trying to take it flat out, using all the road there. Trying to bring it back to the apex, down to gear, letting the car be free, float it back in, and then back on the front straightaway again. And that's going to be a full lap around Virginia International Raceway. And that was a pretty decent lap. I got a little bit squirrely there in the S's. I missed the 2nd apex, and that was a bit frustrating, but I'm happy with the car overall. Now I'm going to be on an in-lap. So on an in-lap, we still have to be pushing. We still have to get it as quickly back in there. A, we're practicing for the race. We got to make sure you don't lose any time. And then B, we need our engineers to be able to look at tire pressures, look at tire temps as if they were running on the racetrack. So I've got to be really focused. Now you see here a little bit of traffic. I'm trying to get down the apex, and this is during practice. I'm trying to learn where the LMP2 cars are fast enough to get by without costing much time. There, I wasn't too happy with being overtaken there. So now I know in the race, maybe not open up as wide in turn 3, close the door a little bit. Don't let them pass me there, but let them by in turn 4. Maybe I'll lose a little bit less time in turn 4 than in turn 3. And that's part of in GTC, you're always thinking about where can I lose the least amount of time getting traffic by me. But then they're also thinking the same thing by passing us. So throughout the race weekend and practice, we're all learning a little bit of how we're running and where we do not want to be overtaken and where we do. and it's really important part of all of this. But you see, another car there, I don't lose any time this time, so that's where I want to be overtaken. So now I know in the race, maybe I can block them or close the door a little bit through the S's and then get them by safely in Oak Tree, and they don't lose any time and I don't lose any time. Of course, straightaways are the easiest and best places to be passed, but the GTC car is actually one of the fastest cars straight line, so it makes it difficult for them to get by us and for us to let them by. So remember, I'm on an in-lap now, but I'm still going deep. I'm still pressing pretty hard, trying to get there as fast as I can, getting down to the apex, really feeling exactly what the car's going to do over a stint. You know, it's a short 2-3 lap run here, but it really gives you an indication for what the car is going to do. Now, on the in-lap, into pit lane, each time I go, I'm going to try to push a little bit deeper before I go to the brakes, before I go to the pit speed limiter, going down, trying to find it there, trying to get down to the pit speed limiter, hit the limit. Now, we're going to go to driver change. See, look there, I undo my belts. I don't undo them completely, just loosen them. Right there, I'm trying to undo the drink bottle, so when Seth gets in, I'm going to put a whole new drink bottle. I got my hand on the ignition switch. We have to turn the car off here in the American Le Mans Series, so I'm ready to do that. Pull it into pit lane, make sure I hit the marks, lollipop right in the middle of the car off, undo the seatbelt, push the seat back, undo my radio, I'm going to hop out. Now Seth's going to get in the car. First thing Seth does is he's going to start doing his belt, put his cool suit out of the way. I'm doing his radio and driver ID myself, and then you'll see me go down and start doing his drink bottle. Put a new drink bottle system in while he's doing his belts. I'll do his left shoulder belt, and that's a driver change in the American Le Mans Series in our Flying Lizard Motorsports Porsche.